Morning, everybody. As you can tell, it's me on my own. Morning for everybody who's watching. I'm going to watch the comments as people come in. I can see lots of people joining us. Mike's having technical issues, so he will be joining us. I think it's called a reboot. Either his computer or he needs a reboot. So Mike will join us shortly and take us through some of the exciting stuff we've got through the conference. But whilst he does, I'll make a start. So good morning, everybody. As you can see, Mike coming into the green room now. So let's let him back in. Let's see if he has he been rebooted. There he is. He's live and alive. Mike, are you all rebooted now?
I've been up since 6. Yeah. Ready to go since 8, and then my computer had a meltdown and I had to reboot. Sorry, guys, bit late.
Look, what can I say? He's not the train. He was obviously brushing his hair. I don't have that challenge. But yeah, morning, Mike. So first live in a little while, and I can see people dropping in, and they're all coming and saying hello. So we've got a 30-minute deadline today. We've got to keep it short, sharp, and sweet, just like me. Today's we wanted to talk about, it's the countdown to the conference. That's the important part for us. But before we start, it's been a while, Mike. So what have we been up to? What have you been up to? There's loads of people saying hello, but what's happened since we did our last live, which was pre-summer? So what have you been up to, mate?
Well, we've been up and down the country seeing members. I know you've been out training a lot. We've had, lots of meetings with partners all over the summer. Really exciting, actually. Loads of good stuff coming up. We'll tell you more about that in a bit, because a lot of it will be announced at the conference. Loads of new product developments, loads of new partners joined, the community, loads for you to get involved in. On a personal note, it's been sunny. I hope the winter's not over, but it's been raining where I live for it seems like forever now. But yeah, no, everything well. My daughter's well. Life's good. Happy days.
Happy days. And he got his APTV t-shirt on as well. Look, he's all branded up as well. Yeah, look, Mike, you're right. Since we last did a live, we have literally been out and about. We've been speaking to our wonderful members. I've been doing lots and lots of training. Obviously, for those who are watching this live, you hopefully have seen the announcement that we brought in a head of education. The wonderful Kat Moy joined us recently. So she joined us for a week. Had enough of us and went off on holiday. So she's sunning herself somewhere for this week. She's back next week, and I'm hoping to get her on an APTV live at some point to tell you all the scoop, the inside story of what goes on in the APA. So yes, great news over the sort of the summer that Kat joined us. And then, yeah, for us, in terms of what we've been up to, some exciting stuff. We've got new products, like Mike said, and as we go through the conference, we'll explain that. But yeah, look, there's loads and loads of people saying morning in the chat. I'll bring a few of those in as we talk. But as we've got 30 minutes, let's jump in straight away, if it's okay, Mike, and start talking all things conference. So 17th of October, that's the date. That's the date where you've got to put it in your brain. It's Tuesday, the 17th of October. The conference this year is at the National Motorbike Museum in Solihull. So it's on the NEC complex. Before we go into the agenda, let's quickly talk about some logistics stuff. So firstly, if you're coming along, you're a member of ours and you have a ticket or a couple of tickets, you should have already received your joining instructions. So that's number one. So if you've already put yourself forward, you've bought a ticket or you're a member of ours, please make sure that you've got your joining instructions. Now, because we've made that big decision this year to do 2 events effectively, we're doing a day conference followed by an amazing gala dinner. We are obviously having 2 sets of joining instructions. You have the day joining instructions email. You will then be followed by an evening joining instruction email. All of these will have come from a young lady who works in our business by the names of Becky or Bex. Could you, if you're watching this or you're watching it back on replay, just check your emails. Make sure you've got what you're expecting. You've got your joining instructions. You know all the details, when it starts, what the content is. You should have had a ticket as well. Again, if any problems at all, please reach out to our team, and I'll put the contact details down in a second. So that's number one. So your email should have gone out. Right then, let's go through some of the agenda, Mike, because as always, we've absolutely crammed the agenda from lots of lots of angles this year. So we're always very conscious that we want to make sure that the people that attend get a real experience. So it's very much focused on content, it's focused on education, it's focused on peer-to-peer networking, but actually we throw in a bit of fun as well. So if I go through the agenda, I'm not going to share screens, but the agenda in terms of starts 8:30-ish, when we say ish, we're aware that people will be traveling from all around the country, but actually we've got people traveling from Europe, and we've got people flying in from the States as well. So, and I'll talk you through that in a second. So because there's so much to sort of cram in on the day, I'm up on stage first at 9 o'clock. Hopefully, I'll get 5-10 minutes before they boo and throw me off. So I'm doing the open address at 9 o'clock. With our headline sponsor, who are bottom line this year, who will do a sort of an opening address with myself. I then hand over to the wonderful Karen Young from Hayes. Karen's always an amazing speaker, as everybody who has watched Karen or been to a conference of ours, she gives so much insight. You'll learn an awful lot about the industry. Karen's a director from Hayes Recruitment. So she'll not only give us an understanding of the recruitment industry, but she'll also give you an idea of the flavour of what the future looks like. She always puts up on the screen things like salaries, which I know everybody gets very interested, let's say, when we put the salaries up there. But it's also things like the different types of working environments we all find ourselves, and the different sort of having people recruited in different areas around the country, some of the sort of hybrid working patterns. Karen will take you through that. Karen is then followed by our first keynote speaker. And what we've done this year is we've got a lady who's going to join us, a lady called Danny Wallace, who she's known in the industry as the Queen Bee. She is absolutely phenomenal. She will really just powerhouse that morning session. I mean, if I look on the agenda, it says it's time to show up, wise up, and rise up with the Queen Bee. I've seen her live. She's absolutely amazing. She will definitely get us all sort of get us going, make the audience feel engaged. And she has a wonderful story to tell. So absolutely amazing opening sort of set. We're then joined by John Sunderland, right? John has been on previous conferences of ours, and he works with the stars. He works with lots of individuals from cricket, football, in the world of sort of sport, but he also talks with lots of organizations, and his is all about mindset and getting your mindset correct. So his session with us live on stage is going to be called Mindset the Golden Ticket. And it's quite entertaining, it's quite engaging. He's got lots of stuff that he'll get involved within the audience. Lovely guy, really, really worthwhile coming along and having a chat with John post-conference, because he's just a ball of energy, let's put it that way. So yeah, and I can see Rachel Long saying, "No, John is the best. We love John." Yeah, look, Rachel's a big fan of John. He's done some work with the team over at Breeden. But again, phenomenal speaker, lovely chap, and I think you'll really enjoy John. We've got some breaks throughout the day, and I'll ask Mike to introduce our wonderful partners in a second. So during our breaks, whether it's the morning coffee breaks or the sort of the opening address, please go around and visit all the exhibitors, our sponsors. We call them partners because they are true partners in the true partnership fashion. All of our partners, and again, Mike will tell us the numbers, but absolutely, we've chock-a-block sold out, which it just blows my mind. You know, we're 4 weeks out and we're sold out. Just amazing. So there's breaks and networking sessions there. We then go into what we're going to have as our first panel. We are obviously quite well known about introducing panels to our conference and our discussion. And the important part about our panels is that they are from the audience or from our membership. So ultimately, the people that you'll see up on stage are either members of the association or industry experts. So they're not people that all the people here have actually done the day job. And I think it's really important, if you're going to listen to somebody and take advice and ask and question, you should be listening to people from the industry and from our membership. So it's from our community to our community. So the first panel is called Finding Your Voice and Motivating Your Team. Let's be honest, we all struggle with that on occasion. So the idea here is really we're going to have 5 experts from the industry who are going to talk about their experience, about how they find their voice within their organizations, as well as what you can do to motivate your team. And it really does start with how can you motivate yourself, and then what can you do to motivate your team and sort of bring your organization forward. That panel is going to be headed up or hosted by the lovely Rebecca Howard, who's been a speaker of ours previously. She's phenomenal. She'll be joined on stage with Nicholas Briley, and again, a friend of the show, Josie Phelps, his first time. So we've got to be gentle with Josie. So Josie from Breeding Group. Nicholas Stevens will join the panel on stage as well from Nando's. And the lovely Lubna Allen will be joining us as well, who will be discussing the challenges. Lubna has a very large team, and she'll be discussing the challenge of not only having the AP challenge, because Lubna looks after a lot of the shared service centre, but a big team as well. So really great panel, and thanks all of that team, all those people who are taking the time to jump on and have the confidence to talk in front of well over 400 people. But look, secret, don't tell them there's 400. I've only told them there's 50 people in the audience, but we'll deal with that after that. Then 11:45, we have the absolutely phenomenal Mary Schaefer. I did a live with Mary earlier this week. She's flying over from the stage. You know, she is just an absolute guru when it comes to accounts payable. Mary's going to talk about the best practice and why best practice is not just enough, and taking your operations one step further. So again, if you've never seen Mary, if you've not gone through watched one of her videos or gone onto her website, she's what Mary doesn't know about AP is not worth knowing. So we're delighted and honoured that Mary will join us as one of our keynotes as well. She'll be on stage at 11:45. We have a lunch and networking break at sort of 12:15. Our team, who worked phenomenally hard in the background, have done an amazing job of getting the best lunches, and I don't know, they seem to have had lots of testers, let's put it that way. So you'll have a brilliant opportunity to network and have lots of lunch, which I know everybody enjoys because it's the power of the community. Go and talk to your peers and whatever. But during the lunch hour that we have, there's network and workshop opportunities. So we've got the first workshop we've got is headed up by Mark Harrison and Dan French, who will be talking, who are very much credit focused, AR focused, but they'll be talking about the sort of the variance between AP and AR and looking at from a customer's perspective on both sides. So I'm flying over to see Mark's conference the week before ours, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to talk about what AP folk have in terms of challenges with the receivables and the credit worlds, and Mark and Dan are going to do the same with us. So it should be interesting. It's getting under the psychology, understanding, you know, why people don't pay and the challenges about not paying. But then from the other side, looking at what the credit folk have, you know, what's their challenges, we know what's their bonus structure, why are they targeted on trying to get debt in, all that good stuff. So that should be a great one. We have the wonderful Susan Walsh, who's going to do a workshop for us as well. If you've never seen Susan, I saw Susan for the first time at Ellen Leith's PPN network event. She was amazing. She talks about data. She is like the data queen. She's the data guru, but she's going to talk about it very much around what can we do with data, you know, in our world, in the AP world. Why is it important? And but again, absolutely phenomenal speaker. After lunch, we've got our second panel. The second panel will be all around developing and creating an AP and P2P dashboard. Now, again, as managers, as leaders within AP and P2P, we want something visual. We want something that we can manage our teams more sort of by view. So what we're trying to do here is give you the experts who've already built dashboards, explain how they've got about sort of building dashboards, and then more importantly, what you do with them. You know, how can you sort of educate your business, your teams, and the outside world on the great work that you do within accounts payable. So that panel will be headed up by Kat. Hopefully she's fresh-faced from a holiday. So Kat Moy will be heading up that panel. She will be joined by Gareth Jones, previous member of the APA. Gareth will be on stage with Kat. Helen Dines will be joining her. Mandy Wilson, who's flying over from the States. You know, we've just got a star-studded cast this year from all over the world. And the wonderful Sarah Turner from SSE will be on stage as well. So an absolutely phenomenal panel. As we go through, we've got breaks galore. We then have some of our workshops which are sponsored, but not only sponsored, but run by some of our partners. The first one is by a team at Softco. and they're going to have some of the customers join them. So one of the customers from Superdry are going to join them. And I think there's some other people join them, actually, Mike, and you might want to give us some details on that. But again, a guy called Martin Ray will take us through sort of the journey to achieving best practice in P2P automation. So make sure you check that workshop out. The second one we've got as well is the team at Pagero, who we're looking at the impact of the new government legislation. That'd be Matt Hammond, will be running that. Again, we had the pleasure of having Matt on one of our stages a long time ago, actually. But actually, Matt's phenomenal. What he doesn't know about the sort of the e-invoicing world and sort of the new government legislation, you don't want to know. So get onto Matt's panel, go and have a look at Matt's workshop. We then have our headline sponsor, Bottomline, who are running a workshop as well, and that'll be run by Richard Ransom. So make sure you jump onto that workshop panel as well. And by the way, I'll explain how you get onto these panels in a second. But actually, the most important part for us is that you attend as many as you can, because it's all very educational. And then we have session 3, which is the team at Zelix. So that'll be Paul, Tony Triggill from sort of Liberty Global, and Sarah Willman will take you through their story of transformation. So we've got lots of customer examples. So it's partners as well as their customers. So phenomenal journey. So yeah, go and join Paul Roitier and the team there. And then as we sort of head into the back end of the day, we then got a headline speaker. And if you're as old as I am, which I'm assuming not very many are, we have got the phenomenal and one and only Eddie the Eagle Edwards. I had a chat with Eddie earlier this week to get him all ready for his talk. He's such a lovely guy, so down to earth, such a lovely guy. His story is one of overcoming adversity, challenges, and getting to the Olympics, back in the 80s. But actually, the story is really important. That it's one that really and truthfully, if you're not as old as me, you've not seen Eddie the Eagle Edwards, there is a film, and he'll introduce the film, and his story takes you through not only getting to the Olympics and competing in downhill skiing, which, let's be honest, jumping off a big downhill is a challenge in itself, but his whole journey right up to today's date is absolutely amazing. So if you've never seen Eddie, please stay around to the very end of the day, which with Eddie will sort of phase us into what we're now known as the gala dinner. So Mike, look, that's the agenda for the day, and we've got lots of other things planned. We've got some exciting stuff, as we always do. We've got some special guests joining us throughout the day. Tell me a little bit, if you can, without giving me too many details on names, but again, it's a big room we've got this year. We've had to grow from last year, but I think what I know, we've got a signed that sold out partner network as well. So just give us an idea of the types of organizations in terms of what they do and sort of how many is going to be in the room, please.
Thank you, Jamie. It sounds like we've got a lot planned. I'm really looking forward to actually hearing about Eddie. I remember that from when I was a kid. It was amazing. For those who don't know, and those who've never been to a conference before, all of our partners are in the room with us all day. We don't have a separate partner area. We all train together, and we have. You talk about experience. I mean, the wealth of experience within the partner network that we enjoy is amazing. I mean, people have been in the industry their whole lives, and they understand your issues, and they're there to help. And they'll be running competitions. There'll be a lot going on. We have people from the world of supplier onboarding, audit recovery, automation, payments, the whole spectrum. And we're joined also by a number of our alliance partners as well, who support the work of the association. And we're very pleased to be able to offer them the opportunity to connect and tell the story about what they're up to. And we're also joined this year by a very new company operating in the mental health space. I'll leave that big reveal for the day, but we're really pleased to be able to support the work that they're doing. And tying in with John's topic about wellness and how to survive and thrive in the industry, I think you'll be very pleased to engage with the team over at Jack. But we've got a lot going on. How's my audio?
It's okay. It sounds like you're swimming a bit, so we need to sort your audio out. I buy all these speakers and these fancy things, and they all go wrong. But anyway, look. But as Mike said, again, the one thing we will say about all our sponsors and our partners, and we call them partners because they truly are. really importantly for us that the partners are there, because what we try to do at all our events, including our conference, is keep the cost down. We are very aware that it's a struggle and a challenge for everybody, organizations and individuals. So what our sponsors do, not only help because they sponsor and they support so we can keep the cost as low as we possibly can, but also from an education standpoint, please make sure that you go out and you talk to everybody within all the partner networks, and not only because they do amazing competitions. Let's be honest. You get free goodie bags, which, let's be honest, you come to conferences, you get lots of goodie bags. So there's lots of that. But Mike, last year's prizes from the partners were phenomenal. I mean, there was an e-bike. There was Lego sets, and I'm not talking the £20 Lego sets. I'm talking 500, 600, £700 Lego sets. They were absolutely amazing. I'm guessing, I don't know too much, but I'm guessing that with the same sort of partners and the same sort of experience you've got. So please take time to go and visit them, educate yourself, look at their roadmap, talk about your challenges you have. But look, we're coming up to that 20-minute mark, Mike. So let's go on to the gala dinner now. So the gala dinner, we finish the conference around 4:30, I'm guessing, that sort of time, depending on how long Eddie needs and how long I finish off with my final bit. The transition from the 4:30 till 6:30 is when 6:30, 6:45, when the gala dinner starts. Again, if you haven't already got your ticket, I'll be honest, I think we have actually sold out, and 4 weeks and counting, we're at the sold out stage. So if you haven't already taken your membership allocation, there's still time to take that. And again, I think from what I was told yesterday, we are at capacity. So, always, as always, it's worthwhile sending us an email, looking at the tickets, the Eventbrite tickets, but I'm guessing they might be sold out. But in terms of the gala dinner, you should have an email. It is dressed to impress, they say. It's tux, black ties, it Mike, as they say, ball gowns and whatever. I'm going for my first dress set fitting. I've done it whether to wear I was on a call the other day and people were telling me to wear a ball gown, so I might do that.
You're going to go wear a dress? No.
Yeah, well, it'll fit me better than a tuxedo, let's put it that way. Been a few years since I've squeezed into one of those. So, but the gala dinner, it's a full evening. You'll be welcomed into a reception area, and it's going to be red carpet, which is going to be phenomenal. There's going to be photo opportunities. There's absolutely entertainment throughout the evening. We've got special guests joining us throughout the evening as well. So not only have we got entertainment, we've got the wonderful Des Coleman, who in the Midlands is a local celebrity. He does our weather, so at least he'll be able to tell us what's going on with the weather. But he actually is a star of sort of areas such as he's gone on EastEnders, he's been on lots of shows. So hopefully everybody knows who Des is, and he's going to be our MC for the evening. So he'll do a really good job of keeping us on track. And then when we get to the part which everybody's waiting for, which is the awards, it's just this year has been mind-blowing. We've doubled the amount of award nominations from last year. And if you think about the previous year, we doubled those. So we really have got a lot of traction this year. And it's going to be such a challenge for our panel of judges to go through those next week. So this is your spoiler alert, or your sort of news alert. Today is the last day. So if you haven't got your nominations in for the awards, it needs to be done today. So you've got till 5, 6 p.m. today. They've got to be put in because we have to then forge those all together. We've had so many this year. It's a bit more of a challenge than years gone by. And then they go off to the panels, the judging panels for view with a look at prior to the conference to make sure that we've got everybody that's been gone through the process are in that room. So hopefully we've got as many people as we can. Again, I think we can squeeze a few more people in, but we're all but sold out on the gala dinner as well, which is amazing. But in terms of the categories, which we won't go through, we'll probably go through the categories next week when we close the session. There's loads. There's individual categories, there's team categories, there's inspirational categories. This year we've introduced some new categories as well to take into not only the rising stars of the world, but also some of our influencer community. So again, we have the influencer community growing. And we've tried to bring in new people into that group this year. So we've introduced a scorecard where people could self-nominate themselves and see if they could be an APA sort of key person of influence or a key influencer. And again, to say that we had a lot of nominations was an understatement. So I'm going through that job at the moment with the team, identifying the new influencer community for 2023-24. So again, you should start to receive some notification from ourselves. It's in the process. So if you haven't received an email already, stand by your beds, as they say. There should be one soon. But let's be honest, that everybody's after one of these. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There it is. It looks like my black thing. So they're a little different this year. So the awards, we've really gone to town. It's got its own branding. It's got its own backdrop. Absolutely amazing. It really is. So yes, so I think there's 12 categories. I think there are there or thereabouts. Mike, the gala dinner, have I missed anything? So it's sort of 6:30ish, 6:45 start straight the way through with entertainments. We've got some great entertainment, by the way, and then I think we finish off with a bit of a dance sort of into the early hours of the morning. Anything I've missed?
No, all good. 6:30 drinks, arrival, we all congregate, then the big reveal, the room's open, the room's transformed. It's a gala, it's obviously a nighttime event. Big thank you again. I mean, it's the first ever. We wanted to do it last year, if you remember, but just coming out of the lockdown restrictions, everyone was a bit nervous. We decided not to, but so pleased to be able to have our first gala dinner ever. So it'd be really exciting. It is it's 6:30 till late. I mean, we've got the place for as long as we want it, actually, but we've got the bar area and taxis and stuff, so we'll make sure everyone gets home safely.
Yeah, so for us, it's really important this year that, because like Mike said, we've been doing sort of awards and got sort of for 7 years plus, and they've grown each year, and we do all we can to promote the industry and individuals. This year is our first gala dinner, and we want it to be special. So not only are all the people that have nominated will be in that room, obviously, and the winners, no doubt. The process is quite simple. You put your nomination in, you will then be shortlisted because there's so many of them. The finalists will then be announced, and then when the finalists are announced, obviously, usually it's 5 per category on the evening. Then that'll be the significant team sort of awards and all that good stuff. So look, it's going to be amazing. It's our first one ever. Are we nervous? Of course, we're always nervous because it's our first one. But are we going to do our very best? Yes, of course we are. So look, we're going to close out things there, Mike. I'm conscious of people's time. Anything else we've got to say about the conference? I mean, we're going to do another live next week. We're going to try and keep these going right up through to a conference. Anything else we need to know before we close out for today?
No, just a final thank you. We can't do it without the support of our membership, the support of our sponsor community. It's going to be amazing.
Well, look, what I'll do is I'll put one last comment, which is from Sam. She's been ribbing me all week. She told me I should be on. She told me I need to be on Coronation Street because she works for APTV, and she said I need to be Roy Cropper's best friend. I don't know what she's trying to say there. And apparently she wants both of us in sequins. But look, you never know. You never know. Mike's always up for a laugh and a joke. But look, we'll leave it there. Thank you ever so much for everybody to silence this morning. It is going to be amazing. We are sold out. We are. It is bigger and better than it was last year. But more importantly, the content, the delivery, the people, you will just have an amazing time. Thank you so much for all our partners, our network, and my amazing team that make all this happen. And we will see you this time next week. So thanks all. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you very much. See you guys.